It's fate time! Hello, welcome to another figure review. Today we're gonna have a look at the Figma number 437. It's Saber Miyamoto Musashi. Another long-awaited entry in the Fate Grand Order line. And we got another Saber, and it's not a Toria for once. So I'm really looking forward to getting something different with a very cool looking design. So without further ado, let's have a look. Whew, this figure is just chock full of details, so we're gonna have a lot to look at, but first I wanna have a look at the size. She stands at about 15.5 centimeters to the top of her hairband, which means we're going up to 6.1, almost 6.2 inches. Face sculpt, it's beautiful. I love the eyes. You have like a little bit of pink and blue, two shades of it. So there's a lot going on. Hair sculpt is also nicely done. There's a lot of strains that go together in the back and strains in the front. The only thing that kind of bothers me a little bit is this one strain over here, which is not really molded in there. It's just kind of glued on. Looks a little bit weird, but the rest of it, I love how the strains go to the back and form a nice hair bun, which is super spiky and there's a lot going on. Held together by this, also almost looks like a shuriken. The black shiny plastic with the leaf design on there, which goes on throughout the figure. She also got leaf earrings and big boobies, tick bitties, and a little detail in her necklace. Got the shoulder pads with a leaf on it and whatever I call this, a little bit of a tiny cape, also some leaves, and the ribbon has some more plant detail. I don't know, is this like cherry blossom stuff going on? You tell me. Same thing in the front, and you got the tiny logo, well, small logo in the front with the nice orange rope. It goes around, also hangs down over here, and leaf design, yeah, more on that on the rope in the back. And you got the sword holsters, which look more shiny, and I always like that when they do armor, and as in this situation, the holsters, which are a bit more shiny, and the cloth part is a lot more in a muted tone because it's cloth, so it should be like that. Speaking of armor, got a bunch of armor plates, elbow pads on her arms, very nicely painted. And as far as the paint goes, yeah, it's very clean on this one, except for one thing, but I'll get to that as we move down. But we got the nice little blue with some lightish red, almost a little bit of pink tone. Also on the fist, nicely done. Fort, looking at the front, she has her little skirt over it, and it's pantsu time. Yeah, I don't have to look far. Also has a nice butt mold in there, but it's a classic white pantsu. Nothing too fancy. It is a little bit different. It looks a little bit more old school. Now, for the only paint issue I have with the figure is the kind of gold lines that go up on her stocking, knee socks, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it's a little bit botchy over here, and there's just a kind of missed that line, unfortunately. And the same thing can be said for the orange that goes on over here. It's just a little bit of bleeding, and it's laid on a little bit too thick in some parts. In other parts, it's just kind of not thick enough. So that's really the only part. You really have this area where you could be like, okay, paint job. For the rest of it, all the rest, it's pretty good. I haven't really seen anything there. As we move down to the little armor parts on her feet. Now there, the paint job is fairly clean again. Not really seeing any issue. The lines are well done. And down to her shoes, kind of wooden shoes. Again, more shiny, which looks good. So overall, good stuff. Now for the articulation, it's mostly basic Figma stuff. You got a double ball pack combination, while one ball hinge, and a simple ball in the head area moves forward, moves to the back. Let me adjust this. And does also tilt side to side. Goes all the way around without any trouble. Then you got the shoulder articulation. You got one ball in the chest area and one ball hinge at the show itself. As such, you can bring that back forth, rotation, and the ball hinge on the show itself goes up very nicely. It's not really hindered by anything. It does look a little bit wonky, but what you gonna do with that? Can't really push it in, so you always have a tiny bit of a gap, but it's covered up nicely by the shoulder pad. You can play around with it, still get in some good poses. Simple ball hinge at the elbow, which also has a little bit of rotation. I don't want to push this too far because I have flashbacks of when that ball pack breaks off. Then we got the fist on another ball hinge, back, forward, chest area. Goes forward a little bit. Doesn't really go back because of the ribbon. As you can tell, there's not a double ball combination in there, but it is connected via pack. So you also have some side-side motion. Wiggles nicely around. Doesn't really leave a gap, so that's cool, and it would go all the way around. I'm not gonna push it. It's really the ribbon that's a little bit in the way, but not too much. Then for the rope, you have 2 ball hinges, so you move that up. Can rotate it a little bit. It is pretty blocked by the belt, but you have that much. And the entire crotch piece rotates around, goes side to side, back, forward. Leg articulation. As you can see, the skirt is soft plastic, so it will bend out of the way, goes forward pretty nicely. It is just on wall packs. Then we go to the back. A little bit blocked there, and it does move out to the side very nicely. Also has some rotation on it, and then you have the simple ball hinge in the knee, and another ball hinge at foot. Goes side to side, forward, into the back is a little bit blocked because of all the armor parts that are going on over here. So there you go. For your accessories, I'm going to start it off with the face sculpts. You got one smiling face and one angry face for your battle poses. Both look very nice. Both have the earrings also. Good job on that one. Then you got, well, let me get on with the simple stuff. Got hands. These are for the chopsticks, I think. This is just like an open grabbing hand. 2 holding hands for the swords and 2 more open hands. Fist hands are already on the figure. Speaking of the swords, here's the katana blades for dual wielding action. Very nicely done. They both look, I think, basically the same. There's a nice bit of detail on the handle. I dig this. Let me zoom in a little bit. Not too far. Got some nice gold molded on there and chock full of detail. And she has kind of like the leaf symbol. Well, I think this is just for putting on the energy effects. I don't know if it's supposed to look like that, but it's still molded like a leaf, so I guess it's supposed to be like that. Either way, you can get the energy effects on there. There's a little bit more gold on the lower part. Yeah, from the looks of it, they're identical. I don't really see any difference there, except for the fact that one's a little bit shorter. Then you got the energy effects. One blue flame and one kind of pink flame, which have a hole. Whoever this is, I can't see it right now. And it's just supposed to slide us through. Just give it a little bit of a wiggle. This is fairly tough. I guess it's not supposed to go that far. I don't know. I don't want to push it right now. Don't want to scratch the sword. So I'm not going to go on with that. Do that at your own risk. Then you got 2 more sword handles to put in the holsters. You know, if she's not having the swords, you can just put that in there, and it looks like she's carrying the swords around. And you got a bowl of, I thought it was rice, but it doesn't really look like rice. It's probably noodles. Noodles and a black bowl, a little bit shiny. And you can take the noodles out, and then you just have the bowl. Don't really care for that. I wish they would have just molded that in there, but I guess if you're just giving you the option of just having the bowl, sure. You got chopsticks. Nicely done. Again, wish they would have just been in the hands. And then this little snack, Japanese snack, which I don't know what it's called. Let me know in the comments. I guess that also fits. I guess that's why they didn't put the chopsticks in the hand, because you can also somewhat slide this on and have fun with that. And finally, there's the classic Figma base and the Figma back. For the record, I'm just going to put that together. First time putting the base together on screen to show you how it's done. Oh my god, I did it. I built something on camera. Well, it wasn't hard, but yeah, there's the Figma base. Classic stuff, standard stuff, included with all your Figmas. So that's gonna do it. It's gonna bring me to the final thoughts of this figure, and I mean, you can pretty much deduct by what I said. This figure's great. I love the design. Articulation is pretty basic, but nothing to sneeze at, nothing wrong with it per se. And the only simple issue I have with the paint job are in the legs. Just really the point, a little bit of orange and gold that's not lining up, but for the rest of it, it's very clean. It's nicely done. You have a bunch of cool accessories. You have a bunch of different accessories, like a bowl of ramen or noodles or whatever it's supposed to be, and chopsticks and whatnot. So, you know, I know a lot of Figma fans just like to have these accessories, so you can switch it around between pretty much all your Figmas. As far as the figure itself goes, yes, I do recommend this one because it's absolutely worth it. I love that they did another Saber. That's not Artoria. Nothing against Artoria. We all love her, but this is something else. This is something cool, and I'm really happy with it. So I will recommend it. That's gonna do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever Musashi wants.